All right, scholars, so based on that video, you should have seen that a rectangle is a lot like a parallelogram, because if you cut off that one side of the parallelogram and you put it to the other side, it's going to be an actual rectangle. However, we're not going to call it length and width. We're going to call it different things. They are called base and height. So an area of a parallelogram is not length times width. You can find it by base times height. Okay, we're still multiplying two numbers, but they're a little bit different than in a rectangle. So we're going to be practicing that today. Let's go ahead and try one. What is the area of the parallelogram below? You can see right here that they have two parallel sides. That's what makes it a parallelogram. And this right here, this bottom side, is going to be my base. And notice how this side, I don't need to know the length of that side. I don't actually really care what the length is. But if this is 8 centimeters, this is also going to be 8 centimeters, and I don't care what this is either, actually. The two sides that are not my base, I don't really care about those. What I do care about is how far apart my two bases are from each other. It's called my height. So just like you saw in the video, if I cut this off right here, this little triangle, and I moved it over here, I would get a rectangle, which is going to be multiplying its two sides to get my area. But we call it base and height. That's where you see this height being very important. The height between, or the distance between my two bases are what gives me my height. Now it's going to be really easy. Area equals base times height. So 8 times 7, my area equals 56 centimeters squared. Don't forget about your centimeters squared. All right, let's try one more. This might be a little bit more difficult. Tariq bought a rug in the shape of a parallelogram, shown below. How many square meters of space will the rug take up on his floor? First of all, square meters is telling me I'm looking for area. So I want to find the area of this shape right here. I look back, I remember area equals base times height. So I have to find a base and I have to find a height. The base is going to be this side length right here. That is my base. My height, is this going to be my height or that going to be my height? Let's think about it. I want to know how far apart is this base from the opposite base. How far apart that is. Well, if I look to the right, I can see that this little, it's called like an invisible line that they were drawing, is going to be my height. I do not care what this is. This problem number 2 is really going to help you in your exit ticket. So if you're not sure what numbers to use in your exit ticket, come back here and look at your notes. Look which numbers you used here. So I'm using this number as my height and this number as my base. So if my area equals base times height, then I know that 4 1/3 times 3 1/2 is going to be my area. Now we're going to review a little bit. How do we multiply mixed numbers? Well, it's very easy to multiply fractions. So what I should do is I should change both of these numbers into a fraction, an improper fraction. 4 times 3, if you remember this, 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13, so I'm left with 13/3. The other one, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So now that I have my new fractions, now it is very easy to multiply because I can just multiply across. 13 times 7, that would be 70 plus 21, which is 91. And 3 times 2 is 6. Now I'm not going to leave my answer as 91/6, right? I want to do what? Simplify. I always want it to be simple. Man, I miss you guys answering me. Oh well. 91 divided by 6. 6 goes into 9 ones. 6, left with 3, bring down a 1. How many times does 6 go into 31? 5 times, because 5 times 6 is 30. and my remainder is 1. So my area is going to equal 15 and 1 6 meters squared. All right, I hope you have fun finding the base and the height, multiplying those two together to get your area of parallelograms. I can't wait to see your exit ticket, and good luck.